This is the Atomstack Kraft, the latest from Atomstack. Equipped with a dual laser module that combines a 20-watt diode laser and a 1.2-watt infrared laser into one beam, it promises versatility and quality. In this sponsored review, we'll be checking out the Atomstack Kraft and putting it to the test so you can decide if it's right for you. So, let's get started. Welcome back to Space Age Tech, where we look at the tech that pushes the limits. Right out of the box, this laser is super beginner friendly. Only minimal assembly is needed, so you can get lasering as quick as possible. This is a fully enclosed machine with a metal body, so you don't have to build or buy an enclosure separately. We have an orange acrylic lid that filters out laser light, making it safe for your craft room or shop. The lid has a very nice weight to it. It's double layered to prevent bending and cracking. Inside the engraver, we have our accessories, our power adapter, calibration tools, and the 20-watt diode 1.2-watt infrared laser module. The module is all one piece, so both the diode and the infrared laser modes can be used separately or concurrently, as you will see in our test. The Kraft comes equipped with a light burn friendly camera, hence the calibration tool on the bottom, and they've also included a honeycomb bed. To get started, we only need to place a honeycomb inside the machine, install our laser module, and plug in. Atomstack is making sure you can use this machine to the fullest. Let's review the ports. On the side, we have the ports for our air assist, power supply, air tube, computer, screen, which can be purchased separately, a USB drive, the USB key that acts as a lock for the machine, and your accessory connection for chucks, rollers, or conveyor belts, some which we will see later. From this angle, we can see the built-in 5-megapixel camera. This allows you to easily position your design onto the material in your computer screen, reducing positioning errors. It has a 0.5mm precise positioning with a viewable area of 11.81 inches by 9.82 inches. And aside from having an excellent cable management system, the Kraft features high-precision XY dual-axis guide rails, which deliver quiet and smooth operation. Let's take a look at the laser module. To remove, we just need to loosen the screw on the top side and slide it in and tighten to install. Atomstack may be onto something here, because this lends itself to the possibility of interchangeable modules, perhaps? We're speculating, of course, but it would be a really nice feature, especially if you need more cutting power. This is our completed setup. So far, we have a very nicely built machine, all metal body, our eye-protecting acrylic, our LED lights on the inside, our 5-megapixel camera for positioning, our laser module. There's only one thing left to do. Let's start testing. The Kraft comes equipped with autofocus, a super helpful and time-saving features to make sure the laser head is at the optimal distance from the material. Infrared lasers are known to be incredibly good at engraving metals, so let's start testing there. These are pure metal cubes. We have aluminum, titanium, iron, copper, and zinc. We'll try all three modes: diode laser, infrared laser, and combined. These are all going to be at the highest power and slowest speed, so we can compare them easily. The blue laser is our 20-watt diode laser. For the second line, we'll use the 1.2-watt infrared laser by itself. And our last pass will combine both the 20-watt diode laser and the 1.2-watt infrared laser. Aside from the aluminum on diode mode, we were able to mark all the materials. When we combined both lasers, however, this resulted in a deeper, more defined line. This is a big deal. Not only do we have the option to engrave and personalize metal, but we have the large engraving area in addition to the diode laser, which is just a huge value added. Now let's take a look at wood cutting. This is a 1-inch thick wood block. Since this is a 20-watt diode laser, we're expecting to cut this wood block in a few passes. In total, it took 3 passes to cut through this 1-inch wood block. The good news is that you're gonna have enough power to do almost any craft. For our next test, we'll be using the riser accessory. This metal riser base is sold separately, and it gives you more vertical space for engraving large items like tumblers or boxes. If you're a beginner with laser engraving, just know that oftentimes you'll need sacrificial material. In this case, we were able to run a material test on the back of one of the drawers on our jewelry box. We want to find a setting that will look clean, with minimal scorching and a fair amount of depth. Once we find the setting we love, we will engrave our design onto the lid. We ran 2 material tests. The one in the bottom is our diode laser only, and the one in the top is our diode laser plus our 1.2-watt infrared laser. Now that we found the setting we like, we're going to make a little bit more room by removing the honeycomb bed. Now you can position your design using the 5-megapixel camera. However, you also have the added flexibility of framing your design manually. Here we can see how the riser base allows us to engrave on this pre-made item that we're just personalizing. Luckily, we don't have to take our jewelry box apart to engrave it, which saves us a lot of time. We also love that this riser base keeps you protected from the laser beam because it has these panels that cover the full length of the enclosure. And talking about safety, we do have a few safety features like flame detection and automatic stop when the cover is opened. These features aim to ensure safe operation in case your material catches on fire or maybe an unauthorized person is in your shop and attempting to open the lid while you're not looking. Lucky for us, here's our completed box. We achieved a very nice, clean contrast of this hypnotizing effect. And because we don't have any visible scorching here, we're saving so much time making it presentable for our customers. Our next step is to make this box extra special by including a plaque. Thanks to the dual laser, we can personalize things like this solid brass plaque relatively quick. And here again, having the dual laser adds so much value. To engrave metal, we would typically use a fiber laser. This would be a separate machine, which usually has a more limited work area. With the Kraft, you have a huge work area, even for metals, and a very high quality engraving. Plus, less clutter in your shop. We achieved this beautiful engraving. We just gave it a quick wipe down to remove fingerprints, but we are super happy with our results. As you can see, these are the type of value-added functionality that can make your shop and small business stand out without having a dedicated fiber laser. Next, we'll take a look at the conveyor belt attachment. This is used in combination with our riser. Right out of the box, we have a working area of 19.7 inches by 12.6 inches. But if you're making large projects like large cutting boards, signs, or simply producing large batches, there is also this conveyor option available, expanding the work area to 33.46 inches by 19.68 inches. The Kraft uses the R7 conveyor belt, which is also compatible with the Atomstack Hurricane, so you can potentially have one accessory for both machines. In this case, we're cutting a lamp out of 3mm painted plywood. All the pieces are coming from a single sheet, and to save time, we can pop in our riser and conveyor and get this project done in one go. And here are our results. We call this a black hole pendant light. Most of our time was spent assembling the lamp instead of changing out the plywood and running different jobs. Now we're back at our original configuration, and we'll take a look at how the IR laser affects the results on anodized aluminum. As you can see here, the dual mode, which uses both lasers at the same time, led to a cleaner image with less power, allowing for higher contrast. We're using the dual laser mode to engrave this 12 by 12 anodized aluminum sheet. This will be an underwater coral reef scene. Here's our completed coral reef scene. Overall, it came out really nice. The engraving is clear, clean, and there's a lot of depth in this scene. If you have a CO2 laser like the Atomstack Hurricane, which we featured in an earlier review, we can combine materials to make our own art. Here we use 3mm clear acrylic with our Atomstack Hurricane. We made several passes for engraving because we wanted to keep a deep groove. So far, we're loving our Hurricane as well. And if you'd like to learn more about this machine from Atomstack as well, check the links in the description. Because we have this deep engraving, we can dry brush it with iridescent paint to make the details pop. Alright, so now we can combine both our coral reef engraving on anodized aluminum and our jellyfish we made using the Atomstack Hurricane to create this multi-dimensional look. So far we've made some pretty cool projects. Now let's see what other materials we can engrave. This is a challenge coin in zinc. It's a simple commemorative coin of the Apollo 11 landing on July 20th, 1969. On one side, we've engraved the date, and on the back, we have an image with the topography of the moon. And the results really speak for themselves. This is a very nice, deep, clean, and center engraving. For our next test, we'll do a brass challenge coin. We engraved an image and text as well, and we noticed that we have some pretty interesting results. We have some brown and blue hues that we can get from brass. An interesting result, and definitely opens up a few possibilities. As we saw from our initial test, we can mark aluminum with the dual laser mode. We didn't have a challenge coin handy, but reproduced the same coin on the aluminum sheet. Again, we have a very nice and clean result. We definitely achieved a very nice contrast. For our next test, we'll do an engraving of a Tonto knife. To test this engraving, we removed the scales, or the part that make up the handle. This allowed us to engrave our pattern on the whole blade, giving it a more polished look. The blade material here is stainless steel. We had some excellent results with this material, and as you can see, we were able to cover the whole knife blade. It came out so nice that we decided to engrave on both sides. Here's our completed engraving with the handle back on. Definitely a very unique gift. We are starting to see just how versatile this laser is. We are consistently seeing super sharp, super clean results. Let's try another knife, this time with a different pattern. In this case, the handle is not removable, but because we have the dual laser mode, we can engrave both wood and metal all at the same time, so we can achieve this unique pattern over the whole knife. The variations in colors would be very nice to explore more in depth. So we try that with mirror metals. This is a solid brass solid anodized aluminum and a mirrored stainless steel from left to right. We ran a materials test with dual laser mode. Understanding the settings and the colors we can achieve on each of these materials expands our possibilities. It might mean that we can produce more unique products that will help to differentiate our shop from others. For brass, we were able to see some deep orange color, a bluish tint, and various shades of gray. For anodized aluminum, we were able to get some gold colors, blue, and more subtle grays. Stainless steel was very interesting. You can see more of deep tones from brown to blue as well. Let's try to engrave a wood and galvanized steel coaster. This would usually be engraved on a fiber laser machine for the metal side and then a diode laser for the wood. But here the Kraft is able to handle them both seamlessly. Again, this allows us to save time and have more unique designs. We have another pretty clean engraving. Let's try a wooden ring box. This is a very popular item around the holidays and Valentine's, and it's a super easy item to sell and personalize. For this test, we picked a Celtic pattern and voila, this is the result. Again, something super nice, super clean, and quite frankly, easy to make and sell. Our next set of tests will be on stone. We'll be testing tile, stone, composite stone, and slate from left to right. We tested both the infrared laser mode and the diode mode so we can decide which mode to use with these materials. Stone is oftentimes a little tricky because the consistency is not always the same throughout. From our results, you can see that composite stone and slate engrave very well on infrared laser mode. Slate is pretty exciting here because we can have this gold color that would help our products stand out a little bit more. Let's take a closer look at slate. In this test, we'll use the infrared laser only mode. We engraved a full slate coaster to test our settings. We went for a bright white color and are looking to see just how clean this can engrave. And we were able to achieve just that. The contrast is very nice. All the lines are super crisp. This one's definitely a winner. For our last test, we have silicone rubber and tooling leather. Again, we'll do a materials test to figure out which settings are best for these materials. We were happy to see that both materials engrave very well. The combination infrared laser and diode gave us some very deep engravings. It even looks like we might be able to cut this silicone rubber. Our tooling leather also turned out very nice, and it seems like we can also cut this in one pass. Very impressive for a 20-watt module. So we've made some pretty cool projects and tested a lot of materials. What did you think? Let us know in the comments. We thought the Atomstack Kraft is a great option from beginners to experienced crafters. The setup was hassle-free, and having a fully enclosed machine is a great investment and time saver overall. At 20 watts, this is not going to be your heavy-duty cutting machine, but it handles things like 3mm plywood smoothly. There's a lot of forethought going into this machine, and with the conveyor and accessory setup, you have a lot of possibilities. Mostly, we were impressed at how clean the engravings were with the infrared mode, and we were able to mark metals easily and flawlessly. So, are you ready to get yours? Check the links in the description. We'll be reviewing this and other amazing technology in our upcoming videos. If you enjoyed this one, please like and subscribe. It really helps our channel grow.